The story of Iran begins not in the recorded annals of history, but in the realm of myth and legend, where kings were heroes touched by the divine. At the very dawn of this narrative stands Jamshid, a figure of immense significance in Persian mythology. He was the fourth great king of the Pishdadian dynasty, a ruler whose reign is described as a golden age for his people. Under his wise and divinely inspired leadership, humanity learned the arts of civilization, moving from a primitive existence into an era of unprecedented prosperity and order. He was a symbol of justice, innovation, and the ideal monarch, a benchmark against which all future kings would be measured for centuries. Jamshid's contributions, as told in the great epic of the Shahnameh, were foundational to the very concept of a structured society. He is credited with introducing the art of weaving, teaching people to make clothes from wool, silk, and cotton, thus moving them beyond animal skins. He organized society into distinct classes: media group, reenactment of ancient Persian society classes, group of people in period costumes representing priests, warriors, farmers, artisans, distribute equally. Priests, warriors, farmers, and artisans, creating a system where each person had a defined role and purpose. Furthermore, he discovered precious gems and perfumes, introduced the use of medicine to heal the sick, and taught the craft of building with bricks and mortar, fundamentally changing the way people lived and interacted with their environment. His most celebrated achievement was the establishment of Nowruz, the Persian New Year, celebrated on the vernal equinox. According to the legend, on this day, Jamshid was raised into the sky on a magnificent, jewel-encrusted throne carried by demons he had subjugated. The people, awestruck by his radiant glory, which shone like the sun, named the day Nowruz, New Day, and established it as a time of great celebration and renewal. This festival, a testament to his legacy, has endured for millennia, becoming one of the most cherished cultural traditions in Iran and beyond, a symbol of hope and rebirth that connects the present to this mythical past. However, the tale of Jamshid also serves as a cautionary one about the corrupting nature of power and pride. After many years of unparalleled success and adoration, hubris began to cloud his judgment. He declared himself a god, demanding the same reverence from his people that was due to the creator. This act of arrogance caused his divine fortune, or far, to abandon him. His kingdom fell into chaos and darkness, and his reign ended in tragedy, as he was eventually overthrown and brutally killed by the tyrannical usurper, Zahak. This downfall underscores a profound theme in Persian thought, that even the greatest of rulers are subject to moral and divine law, and that pride inevitably precedes a fall. As the mists of myth gave way to the tangible records of history, the land of Persia saw the rise of its first great world empire under the Achaemenids, founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BCE. Cyrus was not just a conqueror, he was a visionary administrator who established a vast, multi-ethnic empire built on principles of tolerance and respect for local customs and religions. The Cyrus Cylinder, often considered an early charter of human rights, stands as a testament to his enlightened rule. His successors, like Darius the Great, further organized this sprawling domain, introducing standardized coinage, a postal system, and building magnificent cities like Persepolis, whose ruins still whisper tales of imperial grandeur and sophisticated civilization. The Achaemenid Dominion, which stretched from the Indus Valley to southeastern Europe, eventually succumbed to the military genius of Alexander the Great. His conquest in the 4th century BCE initiated a period of Hellenistic influence, where Greek culture, language, and philosophy mingled with ancient Persian traditions. Following the fragmentation of Alexander's empire, the Seleucids ruled for a time, but native Persian power was reasserted by the Parthians. This formidable empire, known for its skilled cavalry and its role as a rival to Rome, controlled the vital Silk Road trade routes for nearly 5 centuries, acting as a crucial bridge between the East and the West and ensuring the continuity of Iranian identity. In the 3rd century CE, the Parthians were overthrown by the Sasanian dynasty, which sought to restore the glory of the Achaemenid era and reinvigorate Persian culture. The Sasanians established Zoroastrianism as the state religion, creating a centralized and powerful empire that stood as one of the 2 major world powers alongside the Byzantine Empire. This period was a renaissance of Iranian art, architecture, and scholarship. Grand palaces were constructed, intricate silverwork and textiles were produced, and intellectual centers like the Academy of Gondishapur became beacons of learning, attracting scholars from across the known world to study medicine, philosophy, and science under their patronage. This long chapter of native Persian rule came to an abrupt and transformative end with the Arab conquest in the 7th century CE. The Sasanian Empire, weakened by prolonged wars with Byzantium and internal strife, fell to the advancing Islamic armies. This event marked a profound turning point in Iranian history, introducing the religion of Islam, which would gradually be adopted by the majority of the population, and the Arabic language, which became the language of administration and religious scholarship. While political control shifted, the rich and deeply rooted Persian culture did not disappear. Instead, it began a long process of synthesis with the new Islamic civilization. Following the Arab conquest, Iran entered a period of profound change, often referred to as the 2 centuries of silence, as the old order gave way to the new. During this time, while under foreign rule, the Persian spirit did not extinguish, but rather began a subtle and powerful process of adaptation and absorption. Iranian administrators, scribes, and scholars became indispensable to the new Abbasid Caliphate, infusing the Islamic Empire with Sasanian administrative techniques and cultural sensibilities. This quiet persistence laid the groundwork for a spectacular cultural and scientific revival, often termed the Islamic Golden Age, in which Persian thinkers played a leading and indispensable role. By the 9th and 10th centuries, a powerful cultural movement known as the Persian Renaissance blossomed. This was characterized by the revival of the Persian language, now enriched with Arabic vocabulary, but retaining its distinct structure and spirit. The epic poet Ferdowsi became the guardian of this linguistic heritage with his monumental work, the Shahnameh, Book of Kings. In this epic poem, he masterfully recounted the mythical and historical past of Iran, from Jamshid to the fall of the Sasanians, ensuring that the stories, values, and identity of ancient Persia would be preserved for all future generations, creating a linguistic and cultural anchor for Iranian identity. This era was also a zenith for scientific and philosophical inquiry. Persian scholars made groundbreaking contributions that would influence the entire world for centuries to come. Thinkers like Avicenna, also known as Ibn Sina, wrote the Canon of Medicine, a medical encyclopedia that became a standard textbook in both the Islamic world and Europe well into the early modern period. Al-Khwarizmi, whose name gave us the word algorithm, laid the foundations of algebra. Omar Khayyam, known in the West primarily for his poetic Rubaiyat, was also a brilliant mathematician and astronomer who made significant reforms to the calendar, creating a system more accurate than the Gregorian calendar developed centuries later. This cultural and intellectual flourishing continued even as the political landscape remained fragmented, with various local dynasties and later, Turkic and Mongol invaders ruling over the land. The arts thrived under these new patrons. Persian miniature painting reached exquisite heights of detail and color, illustrating famous literary works. The architecture of mosques, madrasas, and caravanserais became renowned for its intricate tile work, soaring domes, and harmonious designs, as seen in the magnificent city of Isfahan under the Safavid dynasty. Through poetry, science, and art, Persian culture demonstrated a remarkable capacity for endurance and creativity, continually influencing its rulers and shaping a unique Perso-Islamic civilization. The journey towards modern Iran was fraught with immense challenges, beginning with the weakening of the Safavid Empire and the subsequent rise of the Qajar dynasty in the late 18th century. The Qajars struggled to centralize their rule and faced increasing pressure from expanding European imperial powers, namely Russia and Britain. This period was marked by significant territorial losses and unfavorable treaties that granted extensive economic concessions to foreign interests. These experiences fostered a growing sense of national vulnerability and sparked the first stirrings of modern Iranian nationalism, leading to popular movements like the tobacco protest, and culminating in the constitutional revolution of the early 20th century, which sought to establish a parliament and limit the monarch's power. The Qajar dynasty eventually gave way to the Pahlavis in 1925 when Reza Shah, an ambitious military officer, took the throne. He initiated a rapid and forceful campaign of modernization and secularization, aiming to build a strong, centralized state modeled on Western nations. He oversaw the construction of national infrastructure, such as the Trans-Iranian Railway, established a modern university and bureaucracy, and imposed Western-style dress codes, including the controversial banning of the veil for women. While his reforms transformed many aspects of the country, they were often implemented autocratically, suppressing dissent and alienating traditional and clerical segments of society, creating deep social fissures. His son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, continued this path of Western-oriented modernization after World War II, fueled by the nation's vast oil wealth. His White Revolution in the 1960s introduced land reforms, expanded literacy, and granted women the right to vote. However, his rule grew increasingly authoritarian, characterized by the suppression of political opposition through the notorious secret police, SAVAK, and a widening gap between a wealthy, westernized elite and the rest of the populace. This combination of rapid social change, political repression, and perceived cultural alienation from traditional Islamic values created a powerful undercurrent of discontent that would ultimately lead to his downfall. This widespread opposition, galvanized under the leadership of the exiled cleric Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, erupted into the Iranian Revolution of 1979. The revolution led to the overthrow of the monarchy and the establishment of the Islamic Republic, a unique political system based on Islamic principles and clerical rule. Today, on June 16, 2025, Iran remains a complex nation. It is a country with a young, educated population and a rich cultural heritage that continues to thrive. But it also faces significant economic challenges due to international sanctions, internal political tensions, and a complex relationship with the global community. Its history, from Jamshid's golden age to the modern republic, is a powerful testament to an enduring civilization that has repeatedly navigated profound change while striving to maintain its unique identity.